Hello, hello. It is Vitalisy channel. Here we are building a unicorn in a real time. And today I'm testing a new format. New format is an interview. I met lots of super interesting people here in San Francisco for the last 5 months. And actually, I can't stop impressing with these people. So I decided to make interviews with them. And today our first is interview with a great, interesting guy, Kyosuke, who is from Japan, who has been living here in the US more than 10 years. He is a founder of the early stage startup Bondz. He also a community builder and actually my future partner in building a founders and investors club here in San Francisco. If you'll find this useful or maybe entertaining, please don't forget to subscribe and like these videos. Let's go. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Just tell me, please, what did you have on the breakfast today?
The breakfast.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't have any breakfast today.
Really?
I just got up in the morning. Actually, I couldn't sleep last night. But anyways, I got up this morning. I prepared and I went to coffee shop and I had just one cup of coffee.
Is it your usual thing in the morning, or it's kind of something weird not to have?
Yeah, actually, I don't usually eat breakfast and then lunch. The both actually. It's because whenever I eat breakfast or lunch, I feel sleepy, so I cannot really work.
Really?
So I just I eat some bread or some little snack, stuff like that, even the lunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have only one meal per day?
Yeah, now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. After I came to San Francisco, when I was in New York, I had two meals, lunchtime and nighttime.
Why? It's because you need to have more energy here.
No, I mean it's because in San Francisco life, right? I'm kind of a little busier than New York, so that's why. Yeah.
Actually, it's weird to hear that San Francisco is more busier than New York, because usually I hear that New York is kind of never sleeps. Here is more calm up.
Yeah, actually, that's right. But what I meant is for work. I had to do so much work to do. When I was in New York, I had more fun to do, right? But in San Francisco, I had to work so much, so I have to keep myself awake. Focus on my work.
So that's why. Got it. Do you have any special morning tip? What do you do every morning to energize?
Not energizing myself, but every time I go to coffee shop or some co-working space or whatever the office I go, the first thing I do is I write a note, what to do, what kind of plan, I have to complete by end of the day, and I write a kind of diary, stuff like that, and yeah, it makes me feel more focused and for my work. Yeah.
Nice. Kyosuke, I have already told the audience something about you, but could you make a short introduction about your background and what do you do?
Okay, so I'm currently living in San Francisco, and actually I've been here about 8 months, and I'm working on building founders community. At the same time, I'm building event networking platform for professionals. Before I came to San Francisco, I was in Japan for a while, and at the time I had a kind of marketing agency company. I was running kind of self-employed, but before that I was living in New York for 10 years. Yeah. So when I was in New York, I have managed 3 businesses, which is event promotion, like marketing organization, and also a school agent. And then lastly, I was working on tourist business.
Wow.
Yeah, and then all of them like became very not very. All of them became profitable within a month.
Is it a month?
Within a month, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I have done, and currently working on, as I said, building community and then platform for network. Yeah.
Great. Actually, I read on your LinkedIn your biography, right, and your kind of resume. But on LinkedIn, everything ends on New York. So everything starts.
Exactly.
You had like some agencies, like you said, and so on.
Mhm.
But could you tell me more about what was before New York?
Before New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
What did you do? And I believe it was in Japan. So could you tell a little bit about it?
Right. Okay. So like after I graduated high school, actually I didn't go to university. So after I graduated high school, I went to Tokyo. I was actually living on a countryside, and I wanted to go to Tokyo always, right? So like I went to Tokyo, and I started to kind of work when I was 18 years old, 19 years old. Yeah. So like at the time, I found a job in Tokyo, and I was working at some like members club, members lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And after I spent a year, I became a manager. So when I was 20 years old, I was a manager at some members lounge. So after that, I was working. I mean, at the time, I was working at members lounge for 2 years. And
So, sorry to interrupt. Members lounge. What?
a members lounge is like only selected people could come to the kind of bar, like a very very expensive bar, right? So usually it's like owner of like some like a big company or some people who have money, right? So that kind of lounge, I became a manager.
Cool.
Yeah, I was working there for 2 years, and then it's because of the customer I had at the time. They are like I mean, a lot of them are from like they graduated from university or like outside of the country, and I got inspired by them. Like they always like tell me, hey, you should like go to America or whatever outside of this country. And at the time I was too young, so I didn't find a value in it. But like after I worked there, and then after I continued to talk with those people, I kind of feel like I wanted to go to America, right? So I decided to go to New York at the time. Yeah.
So, and how old was you when you moved to New York?
Huh?
How old was you?
At the time, I was 22 years old.
Oh, so you have just moved to Tokyo for 2 years?
When I was 18 years old, I went to Tokyo, and then when I became 22 years old, I went to New York. So like I spent like about 4-5 years in Tokyo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you like one day you decided I need to go to the United States, to New York. How was it? So what was the trigger, and what motivated you to?
Right. At the beginning, actually, I wanted to study English, to be honest. Yeah, that's actually one of my passion. And also, like, I wanted to see the world. And also, I didn't like Japan so much at the time. It's because it was so boring for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because
Even Tokyo.
is like, it was kind of boring. I mean, yeah, so it was kind of boring. And I always wanted to do something like kind of exciting. I wanted to challenge new things. So I was always kind of looking for something to do. Yeah.
Nice. So, but basically, what I realized the reason But how did you make it? You came here and then you started to look for opportunities, or how did it go? So how did you manage this immigration?
Immigrations. I see. Yeah. So when I was in Japan, like there's a agency. So like I just like use the service that they taking care of like visa, finding the school, finding the apartment in New York, and then everything. So I just used the agency, and it was pretty quick. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean that you started to look for a job after you moved here or from Japan?
After actually I moved to New York, I kind of realized the money that I had to save while I was in Japan was not enough. So I needed to do something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me about this first impression. So you came to New York.
Yeah.
Was it your first time, or?
Yeah, it was my first time to go to America. Yeah, at the time went to America.
Wow. What was your first impression after you landed? After you there?
That's an interesting question. The first impression that I had in New York was I mean, I didn't think that everything was so expensive. Like maybe 3-4 times like higher than Japan. All right. So like I didn't think that expensive. Everything was so expensive. So that's like my first impression. And at the same time, there's so like kind of diversity. There's so many different kinds of people, not only American, like New Yorkers, from Indian, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Turkish, and like there's so many different kinds of people. And I've never met in Japan, of course, right? So that was like kind of biggest impact, and I really loved it.
And from your language perspective, so as you mentioned, you didn't know English that time, or after moving. How did you manage living here without English?
Exactly. Yeah, before I went to New York, I couldn't speak English, of course, right? And then I even didn't know any basic of the English too. Like even simple really basic grammar, I didn't know. But I went to New York. I just went to some school. At the beginning, it was a very hard time. It's because like I couldn't talk with the people. Even I couldn't order some coffee, right? But it was a very natural to learn English. I just focus on speaking English, even though I couldn't speak English. I just only thought about English, and every day I study at the time. So yeah, so it just naturally learned a lot. Yeah, and then of course I had I made a lot of American friends. So I hang out with them, and they taught me how to speak English, or grammar, or there's some vocabularies. At the same time, from morning to 2-3 p.m. I go to school, so I learn basic things. So I just every day I kind of combine those grammar and vocabulary together, and then go outside, hang out with American friends and use that word. So I do this repeatedly, and I kind of naturally learn English. Yeah.
I mean, it's super impressive. So you came here without knowledge of language, 22 years old. I still don't understand. Do you understand what your main motivation? It's where did you find this boldness in yourself? This I don't know. You should be really really bold person to make it. Where, where did you get it? From who or from where?
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good question. To be honest, I'm actually a little bit different from like other people. So there are so many people who come to New York or like America, or you go outside of the country for their passion. But like my passion was a little bit different from others. Actually, I always wanted to escape from Japan. That was actually my passion. I didn't want to stay there somehow. I didn't, I think, like it so much. So I always, escaped from there. And after I landed in New York, I kind of found, I think this is, my place. I found like this is a very, this is like my place to live. So
Yeah, I got it. So your main motivation was to escape,
yeah,
and then to find something somewhere else.
exactly. Yeah. So like, when I was like, I was, born in like countryside in Japan, and at the time, also I was always thinking about I want to escape from here. I don't want to live here. So I went to Tokyo. Even I went to Tokyo, I couldn't find like, oh, I think this is my place. I just like thinking about like I want to do something. I want to do something else. And I left Japan and I came to New York. And somehow New York fits me very well. And after I spent time in New York, I kind of realized Japan was so good. yeah, seriously. I mean, it's because I was raised and born in Japan. The Japanese thing is always kind of, normal, like natural to me. So I didn't appreciate any of it. Food, it's normal, right? Like environment, it's normal. Hot spring, it's normal. Like everything is normal. And it was so boring. But after I came to America, I appreciate all those things I have had when I was in Japan. So after that, I started to like kind of Japanese culture, Japanese environment, Japanese food, and the Japanese people, and that pretty much everything of Japan. Yeah,
Nice. And so,
yeah.
what do you miss the most from Japan?
Food and hot spring.
Hot spring?
Hot spring, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What kind of food?
Sushi, basically.
Food.
Sushi, sashimi. You know sashimi, right?
I think I know.
You know what sashimi?
I ate it, but not in Japan, so maybe it wasn't like a real one.
I see.
So
I miss, sushi, sashimi, all of the food though. Even like spaghetti, Italian food, Korean food in Japan is really good. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, you mentioned several times that you are from countryside.
Mhm.
What's the name of this place, city or village? What was that?
It's Handa.
Handa.
Handa city. Yeah, Handa. Yeah.
Where it is? What big city near?
It's actually nearby Nagoya. Nagoya is like one of the biggest city in Japan, and it's located in between Tokyo and Osaka, more like Osaka side. Yeah, but it's like a little far from Nagoya. My like hometown is pretty much like 30 to 35 minutes by car. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
When or maybe so. What do I need to see or check in your home city if I whenever comes there?
Come to like my
Yeah.
hometown.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like the best part of my hometown at the time I hate it, right? It's because like so countryside. There's a lot of cow, and like it's nothing there, right? But if you have a chance to go to my hometown, I recommend you go to Hot Spring. There's a really nice hot spring. Yeah.
What? Actually, I don't know this word. What? Uh,
Hot spring. You don't know hot spring? Hot spring is like uh public baths with a natural like water, the hot water. Yeah. It's like a very popular in Japan. And everywhere there's
Wow.
hot spring. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually, I have never tried it.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe that's why I don't know this word.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's kind of strange for I think European people, American people. They think about public bath. Why would you go to public bath, right?
Yeah.
It's because like it's awkward, right? It's because everyone is naked. So of course, like men and the female, the male is separated, of course. Yeah, but like in Japan, it's popular.
I think we had it like in Soviet Union.
You did?
It was popular, like public buses, but not now. Now we have like sauna or something, but it's more like private thing. So you go there with your people, with your friends or with your family, but not like public place.
I see. Yeah, so you go to like hot spring. Also like Nagoya is famous for miso katsu, hitsumabushi. It's like eel over rice, like eel food, and also miso katsu is like katsu deep fried chicken, katsu pork, deep fried pork with kind of thick like miso sauce, and it's a really really good. I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to New York again. How did you make your first money?
Right. Actually, about the entrepreneur, right? At the beginning, when I was in New York, I had never thought of becoming an entrepreneur. It's because of the environment of New York. I had no choice but to become one. So, as I said, New York is the cost is very expensive. I had to pay tuition, I had to pay rent, I had to pay like living costs. The money I had saved while I was in Japan was not enough. So I had to figure this out, right? But one day, one of my friends asked me, "I need your help." That she wanted to like organize some like small event, right? So she asked me, "Hey, can you like bring some people to my event, right?" And I said, "Okay." I helped her, and I brought about 60 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so like it's because of a small event. Like more than 90% is my people I brought, the people I brought, right? And then she was happy about it, and then I got paid by her. She paid me, and from that moment, my journey as an entrepreneur, as event planning, promotion, marketing, like organization, began. Yeah. So that's like the first time I earned money from, doing it.
But how did you make it? I mean, 60 people to the event in New York, and you didn't do it like before.
No.
What was your secret sauce?
At the time, I was actually, going to school, right? Like language school. So I was studying English, and then I have some friends there. So I just simply I asked them, "Hey, can you come to like this event?" And then they said, "Okay, sure." And also,
Yeah.
I hang out.
What the one was about?
Event? I don't remember, but like I think kind of dance related. Or it's kind of dance performance events, right?
It's kind of like entertaining.
Entertaining stuff. And then I just brought my friends from school, and I asking other people, and I think Yeah, that's simply it is. But like I don't know why, but I mean, yeah, I mean, some at the time I thought this is kind of normal things, right? Bringing like 60 people is like normal thing, but other people don't think in that way. You know, bringing like 20 people is already very difficult. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But for me, it's like it's nothing.
Yeah, but what? What again? What is the superpower there? How do you make it? How 60 people? Okay, you ask your friends. It's like I don't know how many, like 10, 15, but 60. Come on, like how did you get them?
I didn't do something not so like a complicated stuff. So there is a school, right? And I go to school, and there is a classmate, right? I ask them, right? And then please come. And there's another class, right? I go to another class, just tell them, hey, my name is Kyosuke. I think one of my friends like doing this events. Like, are you interested? And they might be interested, or they might not interested. And they just can I invite you there? And I go to different like and to hey, there is actually events. Can I invite you there? And some of them said, oh, sure. I think it should be fun. Then like I invite them. So I think I don't have any kind of magic power, but I was just telling them as many as possible. That's it, simply. But I kind of understand that how people think. I think that's a very important part, though. It's because when I talk with people, I think I can find out very well what they want. For example, when I talk with you, for example, right? While we are talking, I focus on what you need, right? Then, if the event fits like your need, you would be interested in going to the event. For example, you're looking for your friend in New York, and then you want to study English. You want to have like American friends, right?
Yeah.
And like, okay, there is like a bunch of American friends I can introduce. Then like you have a reason. Okay, definitely I want. They have a reason to go to the event. So like every time, every single person I talk to, I try to find out what they need, and I provide the information that event provide. So that's like maybe a point. Yeah.
So I believe you said that your like events career started in this way, but I believe that actually it began even earlier in Japan. If you managed this members lounge, it's kind of also something similar. I mean, it's kind of event.
Oh, I see.
To bring people there.
I see.
So I believe you started even earlier in
right.
Everything together with you.
Actually, that's right. So when I was high school, like even like go back to like my middle school, I started to like dance like hip hop or like a popping the dance, right? And at the time, I actually was teaching like maybe at least like 10 to 20 people like dancing, how to dance, like with other from like other high school or elementary school people. And then the first time I organized event was when I was, I think, 17 years old, before I graduated high school. So like I organized like an event, and then at the time I brought about maybe 150 to 200 people at the time already. So like at the time, of course, I didn't recognize like this was my skill. Of course, like a lot of people helped me. I was not the only one like that many people, but I think I was good at like teaming up with the people to bring those things. So like more organizing skill.
Do you still dance?
I don't actually dance. I mean, I thought I was good at the time, but I think I was not really good. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, what do you do besides your work now? What do you have any hobbies?
All my hobbies besides my work, right? Actually, I do a lot. I recently started to have it's called Startup Poker Club, which is like I'm bringing like poker player, like people interested in playing poker, especially founders. I gather once in a while to play the poker, and also every week I play badminton. Badminton, yeah, badminton. That's actually two things, and
Yeah,
uh,
cool.
yeah, that's all.
So, yeah, let's. I want to also ask about New York. So,
Mhm.
okay, you did this first event.
Mhm.
As I remember from your LinkedIn, you had like 2 agencies there, right? I mean, you started 2 agencies business.
Agent business, yeah.
Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit? So after this first event, you helped your friends to
Correct.
full.
Mhm.
So how did you start your business? What was the target audience? What services did you provide?
So like for the event, I focus on creative people when I was in New York. I I mean I brought like fashion designers, photographers, models, like stylists, or those like creative people. It's because of I was doing event organizing. I have like huge network with the people,
Mm-hmm.
like American New Yorkers, of course, and at the same time a lot of students too, people who go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And in New York, people who go to school like learn like English, right? They don't learn only English. They study about like design. They study about stylists. They study about nail artists. Like they have like kind of creativity too. I learned English pretty fast at the beginning. It's because I had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time I know a lot of people, a lot of like people from school, right? And then they ask me, hey, why your English so good? You are even living here only 4 or 5 months, right? And it's because I said like, oh, it's because I have a lot of American friends, and it's because that school is really good. Then they kind of started to ask me, hey, what kind of school is it, right? Oh, this is actually called Cambridge School, and it's pretty good. It's a little bit expensive, but definitely it's worth it. They said, oh, you know what? I want to go to the school where you're going, right? So I introduced like so many students to the school, so many, seriously. And one day, the professor of like the Cambridge school, like tell me, oh, thank you so much for bringing that many people. And even like they give me a kind of discount. Even they say like you don't need I don't want you to pay the tuition for the school. So that's actually a starting point to have like an agent business. After that, I found an American person. It's because at the time I was a student visa, right? So I found like an American guy to open the company and officially work with the schools from at the time. It's because I was introducing so many people already, and I was doing the events. Every time I do the events, I make a lot of friends, and they ask me which school are you going to. I introduce them to those schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started to have like kind of agency business.
So you were like a lead generator for schools.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, let's do the pause. Okay,
All right.
can continue our conversation.
Yeah.
And
Where is it? I mean,
we are near the ocean.
oh yeah.
You can see it from the view
Yeah.
today.
But today is like
But
pretty crowded.
believe us, ocean is there. So people with certain words know
Yeah.
know something.
Oh, okay, that's nice. People have the stuff
And
need to walk down, pass by.
yeah, so we stopped after you describing your first agency when you helped schools to get new students. And actually, you mentioned like several stories when you got many people somewhere. So you like it's kind of your superpower to get people on the events, right? Do you know like what What is a pleasure for you when you are on the event you organize? What do you receive from this?
Oh, I see. I see. I see. Whenever I do event, especially networking events, not the only networking event, but like I always focus on participants, how I can make the participants happy. Of course, like every organizer does. So I don't usually think about receiving something. I just try to focus on what they want and how I can, provide the good event experience, the experience for them. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, you're trying to think what makes people happy, but what makes happy you?
I don't usually think about that, so deeply, but
yeah, I totally understand that. And it's kind of interesting because obviously there is something.
yeah,
There is something. Like,
there is something in it, but I cannot really explain why I would do it and how I become happy by doing organizing. Whenever I see people, happy at the event, like they are enjoying at the event, I would even like I watch them. I only watch them. It makes me feel very happy. Yeah.
cool.
So if you ask me why you feel happy,
No, I think nobody can answer this.
Yeah.
You just feel it, or
yeah, I just feel it. You just feel it. Yeah.
nice. So, okay, your first agency to help schools. What next? What will
Tourist business.
tourists?
Tourist.
How come?
It's because as I was doing event organizing and agency, I know a lot of good places, such as especially nightlife. Like I know nightclubs. I know like rooftops. I know like something like impress you if you are first time in New York, right? I know like all those places. It's because I usually use like the very like fancy hotel lounge, very nice like rooftop, very nice like event space to organize events.
So you basically saw the lack of information in Japanese about New York. I mean, that if you are a tourist, Japanese tourist, and come to New York, you can't find such great places as you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for like telling. Yeah. So if the tourists come to New York, there's a lack of information, especially that nightlife or like good places. Is maybe restaurants. Restaurants is everywhere, right? Coffee shopping. Good coffee shop like there's always like information, but not nightlife. There is some, but it's kind of wrong information, but the information is very old, right? But and it's because I'm doing like an event, things. I know all of the those places, and then there is some of the most highest nightclub, very good nightclub. I always go to. Every time I go to that nightclub, right? I am treated by them as a VIP. It's because I bring a lot of people to that place. So every time I get kind of VIP table, usually it costs like $5,000 to $7,000, right? And then I bring my friends, and my friends can drink until in the morning, even though you don't need to go to the bar to buy it. That's only like your entrance fee you pay, you are okay. And then for women, if they come to that nightclub through my name at the door, they can get in free, and until the morning they can enjoy like drinking in a VIP like experience. So none of the Japanese none of the Japanese guy doing this. So I thought this is a very value in it. So I started to think how I can attract people who are coming to New York from Japan. And I just found out there is a lack of information when you type Google New York club, and then there's no information. So like I hired a writer to make a blog and article and everything. And then within 2-3 months, my blog, my website became on the top.
Wow.
Yeah, within 3 months. So it starts getting leads. Then I created a landing page, and they buy my product. So that's why I started to do the tourist business.
Wow.
And then they are happy to pay. I charge them about $200, right? It's expensive, but for them it's not expensive. It's because when you go to nightclub, you pay $50 a door, you buy drinks. It costs $150, even you didn't get the VIP table. But I provide a much cheaper price, and I give them the best experience for the events, like nightclub, right? So they are happy to pay for it. Yeah.
Nice. So it's again about organizing events.
Exactly, pretty much it. Yeah. I was a part of the that nightclub, but I'm still as a promoter.
So and your target audience usually were Japanese people.
Japanese people who are coming to New York, especially the people who are staying in New York less than 1 week, about a week. It's because if you spend time in New York for 1 week, how many weekends you have?
One
weekend, right? So if there is a 1 weekend, you don't want to miss. You don't want to go to the shitty nightclub.
Yeah.
But who knows if it's a shitty or not? But I know everything. Sound quality, DJ, quality of the people in the club, and I provide a VIP experience, and I can create memorable experience for you if you are with me, and safety wise, and also if you don't speak English, no problem. I'm a Japanese. I can speak with you Japanese, and I can take care of in English too, and even I can introduce all my friends to you. So there's so many benefits for them to come to Yeah.
What is this business right
now? It's gone. It's because the problem was I was the only one doing this. So that was a problem. It's because they know me. I can pass. I can go past inside until they get the table and everything. Somebody else cannot handle it. It's kind of hard. Yeah.
Wow.
I could do it. Yeah, but I kind of just throw that away. Yeah.
So and after that, if I remember correctly, you started Pulse. Pulse, or how do you call it? Your company with a ring.
A Pulse.
Pulse.
Pulse. Yeah.
So about this journey. So tell a little bit about the product and how did you start it?
Yeah. So Pulse, actually, I started after I came to San Francisco.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it was Okay, then I don't want to jump.
But yeah, let me explain it. From 2007 to 2017, I was in New York. I managed a 3 business: event production, money organized agency, and tourist. And I have done also kind of hotel, kind of apartment hotel, business. But it's okay, it's just nothing. Yeah. But it was most profitable. But anyways, I have rented in 20 apartment renting out. So by Airbnb. It's okay. Yeah. So, and then 2017, I decided to go back to Japan. It's because I couldn't renew the visa, and I didn't want to go to school anymore. So I thought I think that's it, my life in New York, and I decided to go back to Japan. And after I went back to Japan, I was doing some little small businesses, right? But at the time I was kind of struggling. I didn't know what to do for the next. Then from that moment, I started to think, I want to do something. I want to create something, my products. I have an event agent, like a tourist industry. It's not like it is my product, but it's just a service. But I wanted to create a product,
Something physical.
physical product. That's like what I want to use, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now we're definitely near the ocean.
Yeah, finally. Now we prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the ocean.
Actually, you mentioned about this hotels business, right? About this Airbnb stuff, and I can stop thinking about it after you mentioned this. Could you tell it with more details? So what did you do?
Yeah, actually, I have a friend who is working at a real estate company, and actually, he can get all those apartments with a really reasonable price. So he and I decided to team up to do that kind of Airbnb business, and he's the one finding the apartment, right? And then I'm the one that can preparing all the furniture and everything. I taking care of the Airbnb, like bringing people in it. It's not very simple. It's just like but usually when you do the Airbnb, the hardest part is to find a place. It's accepted, it's because usually it's not accepted, right? It's not allowed to do.
Yeah.
But it's because he's working at the real estate company. So that real estate company owns some of the building, and then we got approval from that real estate company. You can do it. We pay them more, extra money, but we can do it. So eventually we got about 15 apartments. We paid each apartment costs $2,000 to $3,000, which is $30,000 to $40,000 a month, right? So I started with him, and then right away it became so profitable.
So just to clarify, so you rented these apartments from real estate company,
Exactly.
and then you rented it.
Renting out, to the people who come to New York for the short stay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it somehow connected to this business with the tourism? I mean, you started to make this tourist thing, and then it's kind of logical.
Exactly. I wanted to connect. Yeah. Also, yes. Some of the people who come to New York as tourists, some of them they use their Airbnb, like my apartment hotel. It kind of a little bit connected now, but it's just like 10%. Yeah, 90% is just the Airbnb, the people who use the Airbnb, stay at the hotel.
The same my question, but again, what happened with this business?
This business before COVID, I was running Airbnb until the COVID hit. So which is 2018-19, right? Until then, I was running. I hired several cleaning person, and then Japanese. I train them how to clean up, very they organize well, and I put the good furniture and the good pictures, and yeah. So at the time I was in Japan, because as I said, I went back to Japan 2017, and I was handling it.
From Japan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It must be super hard to leave New York just because of visa stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The visa problem is always the number one. It's because at the time I had only F1 visa, so which means I had to go to school.
Yeah.
I must go to school. And I have to keep 90% of attendance.
Yeah.
Attendance. Otherwise, I have to get kicked out. Which means while I'm working, while I'm doing a business, I have to go to school. So that's a problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Huge problem. And then 4-5 times a week. Yeah. So it was kind of tough.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So, the ring again. How did you come up with the idea of the ring? So you mentioned that you wanted to make something physical, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, great image to to convince people that we are
Exactly.
in California.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest about the ring business. I wanted to do something I think scalable at the time, scalable business, and I wanted to do something in the tech field. At the time, I didn't have any idea.
Mm-hmm.
It just like came up with the idea that the pulse. Okay, so what is the pulse is the company the project I was working on at the time is a pulse is ring device that integrates a payment technology. So simply you wear it, you just pay with it. There's no battery, so you don't need to charge, and there's a very good design, and it's a very how can I call? It's a very convenient. I thought it's because while I was in Japan, every time I had to take out the phone or wallet to go to the go to convenience store to pay buy something, go to the subway. Every time I have to take out the wallet or the phone to do it, it's kind of annoying. And I understand there's a Apple Watch. Apple Watch can do it, but like I didn't like to do this too. So I was thinking if there is some like a product that's like with a ring, but looks like a very nice kind of design. At the same time, it's convenient, right? Practical. It doesn't exist at. Yeah, it's similar thing exists, but the design is like kind of terrible. It's just bulky like a ring, and you don't want it. So at the time, I just started to think about. I think this idea might be good, and also like one of my really good friend who is a jewelry designer, and I also like when I was in New York, I really love fashion, right? It's because I brought like all the fashion designers, those people. Even I did a fashion show too. So I wanted to kind of combine what I like, kind of more like creative side, and I wanted to use like more like tech field, something like scalable, right? So everything I combined it, and then it came up with the idea maybe ring device with fintech with physical device. So, but I don't want to develop the bulky design. It exists already. I wanted to create something like high-end jewelry brand, high-end jewelry that integrates a payment, so which means it doesn't exist in this world, right? Yeah, so that's why that's what I try to work. Yeah.
So, and you came up with this idea being in Japan, right?
Being in Japan.
So, and as a question I want to ask you, like, as a whole interview, after all this story about New York and everything you did there, so you came to you returned to Japan. So, why did you came to San Francisco, not to New York this time?
I see. Yeah, the answer is very simple. New York is a fun. New York is so much entertainment. There's like a lot of my friends. We talk about not business stuff. We talk about just regular stuff, coffee shop, fashion, or whatever. But I know my problem. I wanted to do something the business to be succeeded, right? Successful. So I wanted to choose. When I was in Japan, I wanted to choose the one which and then
where everybody talked about business.
Exactly. So like, where is the best place in the world? I was even thinking about go to China too, but I decided to go to Silicon Valley, like Bay Area.
Nice.
Yeah, it's because obviously this is the number one place for tech people, for investment, for startup. Those like environment. Yeah.
So, and in short, how this idea with the ring ended, or
Right. So like after I came to San Francisco, I was working on. I had a two people in my team in Japan, and then one of them are building hardware, and then one of them building like software. But I was working on it, but we found out it's super difficult, and it costs too much money, and at the same time it takes too long. It's because of like payment system, regulation and everything, right? And
yeah, and also like doing hardware is always super hard.
exactly. I still like this idea, to be honest, but I thought I should focus on something else. I don't know if it was a good idea or not. Actually, I still don't know about it, but I kind of decided not to do it at this moment and then focus on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a between. I quit. I'm in the kind of time off from like building like Pulse, right, to do like current like event networking platform. So there is a gap, right? At the time, I was actually thinking what I should do next. Then I found while I was at the event and while I meet with all the founders like San Francisco, while I was like building my community, I kind of found out there might be a pain point. There might be a chance that this platform will work for the people. It's because I wanted to use this kind of service. Yeah.
And it is super connected with your background.
Exactly. More like in founder matching, right? So like I remember at the time, I kind of remember what I had done in my past, like in past 20 years. I've always like doing events, connecting people, bringing people, attracting people, and building communities. So I think this is my kind of strong point. So I wanted to use this strong point to become like some products. Yeah.
Could you tell in a few words about this idea? Because I know about it, but for the audience,
I see.
About this event management not event platform, right?
Yeah. So I'm building an event focus on I'm building event networking platform for professionals. The concept is maximize beneficial matches at every event, especially like tech events and conferences, without random interruptions. So when you go to events, there's 300, 400, 500 people. It depends on the events. If you want to meet the founders or like investors, or like if you want to hire like an engineer, if you want to meet some designer, when you go to event, the problem is you have to talk with them, randomly, but your time is limited. You cannot talk to them like 300 people, right? Maximum you can talk about, 8 to 10 people. So I wanted to build some product that more efficient way to network with the people with your purpose. So that's why I'm building this platform. Yeah.
You call it Bondz, right?
It's called a Bondz. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and so you make this platform. It's called Bondz.
Mm-hmm.
You also make these regular events in San Francisco, big events. You call it Meld.
Mm-hmm.
And we were speaking with you about our club, and you make an offer to call it like Catalyst.
Catalyst.
All about chemistry.
Chemistry.
What's there in the chemistry for you? Why it is? Why you take names from there? How do you think?
Oh, I see. I always like wanted to name it like something related in connect and a link, right? But I don't want to use a link and a connect. It's like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
is I was like thinking about some like something like cool name, and just come up with the Bondz, and then for the melt is like I organize like a large event for founders and investors 4 times a year. The melt is actually come from like also like related, it's similar to the Bondz. Yeah. Yeah, just like I always thought about like something related in connect or links, but in a different way.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think the last thing I wanted to discuss with you. So after you came to San Francisco, how long have you been living here?
About a month.
8 months. And for this 8 months, how many events did you organize?
I've already organized a band 33 times.
33 times. 33 events.
Yeah,
8 months.
Yeah, for 8 months.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So it's obviously there is your thing, right?
Exactly. I keep pushing myself. Yeah.
Wow, it's unbelievable. Could you tell more about how did you? So you came to San Francisco.
Mm.
You came with this. So there was still this idea with Ring, right?
Mhm.
But again, so how many weeks did you need to organize your first event?
How many weeks I?
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, that's after I arrived in San Francisco. I think after I spent a month, I started to have organizing like my event, and I decided to do every week.
incredible.
Yeah.
What?
Even though there's only like a few people attend, I said like I would do it every week.
What drives you here?
Before I came to San Francisco, I was thinking about the strategy, what kind of position I should take as a Japanese, as a startup owner. It's because I'm nobody, right? I don't have a product yet. I'm nobody to go to San Francisco, and they don't care about me, right? It's because I'm nobody, right? Maybe I have a good idea. I don't think people think it's a good idea, but so I have to find my value to them. It's because I want to connect with those people. One of the biggest value that I can provide, I thought it's a network, the connections. So that's the first reason. The second reason is I want to create an environment that every single person around me is the founders or, some investors. It's because like I believe the environment is very important for your,
Can't agree more.
yeah. So that's why I started to build, connect community with the founders, and then
What is your big dream? What do you want to achieve?
So my final dream is to build networking platform in the world, like largest, networking platform. Not largest. I mean, physically and virtually. Now both of them, kind of. I want to create a platform for the physically and the virtually. People can connect to each other in the global. Current like in the technology, it's still like there is a not like good quality on the virtual side. But I think in 10 years or in 20 years, and a virtual world will be much better than current situation. So currently, physical event is very important. I mean, the virtual event is also important, but like I feel like a physical event is more how can it more
Close, deep,
more like you can create like a deeper
meaningful.
meaning in a connection. Virtual is like a little away from that. But in the future, in 10 years, 20 years, I think it's gonna be equal, or like maybe virtual will be better. So I wanted to prepare for that era will come, and especially for that network, I always care about. It's like my life project. Even there is like not, even there is no like network platform I create. I think I would do as a life project, to like networking with people. I think it's because I find this is maybe it's my happiness. It's my like goal. Like I always want to do to make people happy about it. And then yeah, so like I want to create that kind of that platform. And also there is AI currently, right? There's like AI. There's a trend of the AI. No, it's okay. Yeah,
It's another story.
it's another story. It's like it's hard to explain already by my like vocabulary. I have so many things to say, but like by my vocabulary.
Oh, it's fine. It's absolutely great. What advice would you give to yourself, to 20 years old version of yourself?
Fail fast.
Fail fast.
Fail fast. As Mark Zuckerberg said, fail fast, and done is better than perfect. And never ever give up. Just to challenge, even though you might fail, but if you want to do it, you do it.
Nice.
That's, I think.
No, done is better than perfect is one of my favorite phrases.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Even we know it. We are scared of doing
Oh,
it.
sure.
So every day I have to, tell myself
Repeat it.
repeatedly. It's because every time I'm scared of like challenging new thing. Of course, I'm as a human being. I'm always scared of, if I start new things. But I tell myself, fail fast. Even though like I've done like a 33 times of event, I felt so many times kind of scared of, those things, right? Doing, organizing. But I always told myself, definitely I cannot give up and fail fast. I mean, fail anyway. You do it and it fail. That's like always I tell myself. And in the next 20 years, even when I get older, I'm gonna tell myself fail fast to challenge it for the next.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kyosuke, thank you so much for this interview. I want to ask you to tell to our audience in Japanese, ask them to subscribe to my channel. It's called Vitalisy, and put a like to this video. Could you tell it in Japanese or?
In Japanese?
Yeah, for the audience.
Oh, okay. In Japanese. Okay. 皆さん。Oh my gosh. Like, okay. そうで、バイタリシーは、彼がオーガナイズ、要は運営する YouTube チャンネルで、ユニコーン、要は次のユニコーンを生み出すための、チャンネルらしいです。なので、もし、興味がある方は、彼のチャンネルに、登録してください。お願いします。
Thank you so much,
No
Kyosuke.
problem. Thank you.
If you don't subscribe after such a great speech, I don't know what to do with you guys. So thank you so much again. It was so nice to speak.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.